Sean Fallon is one of Celtic's most famous Irish players. An Irish international, he played for his country both as a fullback and a centre forward. But before all of that, he played Gaelic football. He was in a famous Sligo full forward line in the Connacht Championship in the mid-40s when he had John Joe Lavin, the athlete, in one corner, and Angus McMorrow, the rugby international fullback, in the other. I think it was the band that probably changed his mind, and off he went to his beloved Celtic, whom he followed all the time. And he went to Celtic and made a name for himself as a terrific player. And they called him the Iron Man. And do you know why? Because on one occasion, he had a broken collarbone. Did that worry Sean? Not at all. They made hard men in Sligo. He came on and played on. They loved him. And when his playing days were over, he stayed at Celtic. He became assistant manager to the legendary Jock Stein. And Sean was there the night in Lisbon when Celtic won the European Champions Cup. What sort of input did Sean Fallon, the Iron Man, have in you?
He's terrific. He's a great storyteller. He's got a wonderful accent that he tells me when he goes home to Sligo. People say, "You've got a Scottish accent now, Sean. What's happened to you?" I've never detected a touch of Scottish out of Sean. He is absolutely brilliant.
He's in his 80s, going on 25.
I was with him, Jimmy, one night in a hotel in Ireland, of all places, and he was combing his hair. And he said to me...
He's got plenty of it, mind you.
Oh, he's still got loads of it. And he said to me, "Do you think my hair's getting thin?" And I said, "Sean, if I have a head of hair like you when I'm 80 odds, I'll be absolutely delighted."
I'm going to bring you back to the mid-40s, and you were in a Sligo full forward line in the Connacht Championship.
That's correct.
With McMorrow, who was the Irish rugby fullback.
Yes.
John Joe Lavin, who was the Irish champion long jumper,
yeah.
And yourself. A lethal full forward line in Gaelic football.
It certainly was. The other two were good players anyway, I know that. I don't know about myself.
How did you get from that to Celtic?
Well, I was suspended for playing
foreign games.
For playing a foreign game. And so I kept on playing soccer. Although I told the GA at that time that I loved playing for the county and I loved the game of Gaelic. But I felt that I loved the soccer as well, and no one was going to tell me what game I had to play.
He's a very funny man too, and a great man to be around, and he's all the stories of the old days, and that kind of rubs off on you too, because I must admit when I went over there I didn't know a lot about the history. You have to learn all that, but it's not long until that sort of spirit and that Celtic thing becomes part of your life.
On St. Patrick's Day, 17th of March 1950, I was selected for the North against the South. And who was at the game but Mr. McGrory, who was manager of Glasgow Celtic at that time. And I was told that Mr. McGrory wanted to speak to me after the game. And I was delighted because it was a dream of mine to wear the green and white jersey. And Mr. McGrory was giving me that chance. So he told me that he'd like to sign me. And say, "What wage would I be getting, Mr. McGrory?" Says he, "Well, you'd be getting starting off at £8. Oh, say that wouldn't be enough. So my dream, says I, Mr. McGrory, is to play for Celtic Football Club. But, says I'm a four-man confectioner, which I was in Lurgan. And I used to do wedding cakes, stuff, you know, the nice stuff I used to do. And says I'm earning over £7, which I was doing at that time. And so I'm sending most of that home to my mum because I've got football money. So he went back to the phone, he came back, and he put £2 onto it. And I signed, even though I was losing money. I was realising a dream.
Sean brought a touch of the Irish philosophy to Celtic on the pitch. He was a bustling type of player, not the biggest of men, but he put himself around, got in among defenders, and did a very competent job.
I was playing full back against Motherwell, and of course all the family. I think there was more Irish people there than Scots because all the Sligo people were there. They took up a good part of the stand to see me play in the Scottish Cup final. And we played Motherwell and we beat them in the final. And it was great for me and great for the family that had come to see me play, winning the Scottish Cup badge.
He was called the Man of Iron, and that came from, he was playing with Celtic and broke a collarbone and came off, and they didn't have a substitute. So after 20 minutes with a broken collarbone, he went back on.
My collarbone was broke.
Actually broken.
Broke collarbone. You can feel it there.
For God's sake.
Checked it.
When was that?
And my arm was broke.
What year
See,
was
that's
this?
as far as I can turn it. That's 52. I was just after being appointed captain of the club.
Do you know that's over half a century ago?
I know that.
There's still lumps out of you.
Celtic, winners of the League Championship, were finalists with Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup. Over 130,000 supporters went to Hampden Park to encourage their favourites. Celtic, wearing the hoop shirts, kicked off, and Aberdeen had a rough time during the first 20 minutes. Nevertheless, they survived the onslaught of the Celtic forwards. Mochen kicked a beauty right across the Aberdeen goal area. The ball bounced off Young's foot and into the Don's net.
Put me up centre forward. And the big centre forward we had at that time, John McPhail, he was injured. And it stuck me up and I happened to score the winning goal.
Both teams were now going all out for the winning goal. And this finally went to Celtic when Ferney tapped the ball to Fallon, who completed the movement by scoring goal number 2.
I was pleased for myself, for the club, and particularly for the people who would come over to see the final, because there was 129,000 people at that game.
Even when he retired from football and became our trainer at Celtic Park, our coach, he played football. He used to play 10-a-side, 11-a-side. He played the exact same way after he retired as he did when he played the game. hard man.
Celtic through and through. I remember when I decided that I was going to go to Leeds, he come up and he was pleading with my father and with me to change my mind and go to Celtic Park. But I'd made my mind up there. And I seen Sean not that long ago at a sad occasion, Jimmy Johnson's funeral. And he still talks about it to me, Sean. He still talks about it. I should have went to Celtic Park when I was young.
Gallagher hits